Alright, let us begin. I want to do a real quick review of Sandman Universe number 1. Briefly, statement of purpose. I want to do a review of all the new Vertigo titles. There are kind of two categories of them. One are all of the Neil Gaiman is, I guess, the executive director, publisher, editor of the Sandman Universe. So he's doing a bunch of Sandman-based titles that are just being released now, beginning with Sandman number 1, which just came out. And there are a bunch of Vertigo titles that are coming out soon, and I kind of want to review them all. Because I used to be a huge Vertigo fan back in the day. Back in, starting, God, 89 or whatever, when Sandman came out. And just since then, for most of college, and even then some, for a while, I was just huge into comics, but particularly Vertigo titles, and I always tried them out. And even after all the Neil Gaiman titles were gone, like he was no longer doing comics, I was still following Mike Carey, and a few others, but mostly Mike Carey, specifically with Lucifer, and then with Crossing Midnight, both of which I loved, and both of which I bought every single issue of. I probably want to get trade paperbacks for all of them, so I have all my favorite stuff. But this is neither here nor there. Brief review of Sandman Universe number 1. I wanted to just go over this a little bit, because it's actually, if you do get Sandman Universe number 1, it is actually kind of a long book, which is cool. It's downsides to it, it's not much of a, not a very complete story. It's good, it's really good. I'd give it a high props, but it doesn't have a lot of meat to it. It's mostly a lot of hooks. Like, let's get you interested in this. And it's basically a storyline where we're looking for Dream of the Endless, aka Daniel, if you read up to these spoilers for the series that ended in the 90s, I guess. And so they're looking for him, and they run into a bunch of other, like they kind of cross a number of other stories, which are all going to be other titles coming out over the next few months. A couple things that struck me. I like the hooks. Everything caught my interest. I have to mention this. I did, in fact, have kind of a stupid grin on my face for like reading half of this thing, simply because, like I said, I loved Vertigo in the day, and there was more than a touch of nostalgia involved in this. It did remind me of it in a good way. So if you liked Vertigo, if you're old like me, or, you read it's not like the issues ceased to exist, and you want to recapture a little of that Sandman Universe number 1. I don't know if Sandman Universe number 1 is just going to continue as sort of an overarching story where we just see all the other characters for all the other ones kind of introduced and pop up a little bit. That'd be really kind of neat. I've gotten the impression the new Vertigo titles aren't going to have a shared universe, and so a lot of Vertigo titles didn't. I mentioned in another video, Vertigo has a weird pedigree. But the Sandman Universe ones, they're Sandman Universe. It's a bunch of titles that are linked together. The titles coming out, I believe there's 4 of them. Let me check this out. There's going forward, it's, in fact, I think I might even have, okay, in September 5th, we have The Dreaming is coming out, Dreaming number 1. Then Books of Magic, number 24, or October 24th, rather. House of Whispers, which I assume was there was a series that followed Sandman for a while, which it was okay. It wasn't, I didn't think it was screamingly good, but it was okay. And then Lucifer, which I loved. I don't think this is Mike Carey, though. We're notoriously, it's not going to be Mike Carey. That's a shame. And then there's the other titles that are coming out. I think I mentioned them in a previous video. Border Town, Hex Wives, American Carnage, Goddess Mode, Safe Sex, High Level, and Second Coming. Okay, so good. Great, great. So, I mean, other than that, there's really not too much to say without spoiling stuff, and I don't want to spoil it. If you're wondering whether or not, if you liked Vertigo titles and you liked Sandman and you liked Neil Gaiman's writing, go get Go get Sandman Universe #1. You'll appreciate it. It is actually very good. The art is very reminiscent of old Sandman titles. Um, God, other than that, just I'm a little. I did have a few reservations reading it. I don't know yet. I mean, I've just seen hooks. For example, Timothy Hunter from Books of Magic. When that Books of Magic was out for a long ass time, and there was a lot of different. What's his origin story? And ultimately, I mean, I think there was the character of Timothy Hunter showed up as like almost an adult. The character had been around for so freaking long, he was essentially an adult. But he's a little kid again. He's like a little kid in school. Like he's like they've Harry Pottered him or something like that. I don't know. We'll find out how that works out. So I guess it's a hard reboot for Timothy Hunter. Is it another universe, which says alternate universes is something Sandman is kind of touched upon in the past? I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen anything in this book that offended me, that flat out made me go, At the same time, a lot of what I saw, this was just hooks. I mean, they're starting out, so it's like a bunch of, maybe you're interested in this, that, or the other. One or two of the hooks I thought were a little weak. Lucifer and Timothy Hunter, Books of Magic, those looked really cool. I mean, the story intrigued me right away. Like, bring on issue 1 of those. So I'm gonna flat out review all of them, all the Vertigo titles coming out. 4 plus 7. Screw me. So like 11 titles plus Sandman Universe, which is its own title. 12 titles. Great. And now they're like $5 a piece. Welcome to the 21st century. Oh well. So go get, if you're a comic books fan, go get, this is good stuff. Sandman Universe #1. We'll see how the others turn out.